Welcome to Bamfordrose, and it's forum chat time. This week it's a quickfire comments section roundup.
Okay, so there was a few questions from our carbon ceramic brake disc issues question, where we showed a virage with some worn out discs. A question that comes back from that is, would you happen to know which wheel cleaners result in the breakdown of disc surface? Well, I got in touch with Autoglim and I said, is there special wheel cleaner product okay to come into contact with the surface of a carbon ceramic brake? Now, there are lots of detailers out there who on their website show that product and a wheel snow foamed in this stuff and the stuff running down the face of the carbon ceramic discs. Now, on the outside of that product, it says suitable for all wheels and something like there are no harsh chemicals in the product. Autoglim wouldn't commit and said it was safe to go into contact with a carbon ceramic disc. All they would say is you're best off nothing coming into contact with a carbon ceramic disc. Stick with that advice. Do as much as the wheel washing as you can off the car or shielding the discs, and only ever get a splash of water on the carbon ceramic discs. Same video, question from Steve over at Aston 1936. We've heard that occasionally the bolt may break off the disc and the bell housing. Yeah, these are the series of mounting bobbins that go around the outside of the bell and mount the disc to the bell, and the head can drop off the back of the mounting bobbin, and this is a known sort of corrosion issue, which other makers like Bentley or Ferrari replaced the disc under warranty, but Aston did not. There's some literature somewhere which says a certain number of heads missing out of the 10 mounting bobbins causes a problem, but even if I had one missing, then I'd want to be replacing that on my car, especially if you were doing a lot of arduous braking. So yeah, it's something at service that needs to be checked for, that all the heads are present on the mounting bolts. Same subject, can you replace the carbon ceramic brakes with normal steel discs and pads? You can. We've done it on a car before. A kit come from some company in Germany. I wasn't convinced of the robustness of that kit, and I wouldn't be doing it again. Next question from Chris asks if I can clarify what we said about the longevity of carbon ceramic brakes. I think it was always known that a carbon ceramic disc will do 3 pad sets. So if you're a Nürburgring Pro driver, you're going to get 500 miles out of a pad set. That means you're going to get 1500 miles out of your discs. And if you take the normal sort of road car usage for a set of front pads, you're going to be something like 10 to 15k, and in reality that means you should get no less than 30k out of your discs. Follow-up question there, does the DB11 steel brakes fit as they look the same size roughly? I think the wheel bearing PCD is different, so I don't think the disc will go on the studs the same, and I don't think the caliper fits the same either, so I don't think that retrofit is an option. Next comment is feedback about buying an early DB9 from Mark. He's had an early 09 DB9 and a DBS, and makes the comment that if you hunt around the franchise network in mainland Europe, you can get some good service and good prices. From my experience of cars that we've seen here, any Aston that comes serviced from Germany is just another level above everyone else. You can see that there's some real pride taken in the workmanship. The little tags put on around the coolant pipes to say when the coolant was changed, little tags on when the oil was changed. Everything is just another level of care and attention on cars from Germany. There's going to be a little bit of a ripple effect from St. Gallen in Switzerland closing, because they were the go-to garage for anything a bit trick, and just because the car's never sold as well in some other European countries, the level of service that you get from those dealers is bound not to be as good as the others, especially if you need something trick doing. This is sort of identifying a problem in the wider Aston world, and especially in the UK, where there just are not enough independent specialists for the volume of cars that are out there. Next question asks if the 470 horsepower DB9 engines still develop the tick? Well, that was the small end bush piston boss area that was evolved in those engines, so it doesn't not the same as an early 05 DB9. And if you check that you haven't got the tick at point of purchase, how do you make sure during your ownership that it doesn't develop that tick? Well, on a 470 horsepower DB9, I don't think you have to worry about that. And on the early cars, I think the best thing you can do is listen out and understand the early onset of the tick and then repair it at that point before the problem develops into something worse, and maybe that little end bearing tick develops into piston slap, which develops into liner wear, and you sort of fix it at the onset of the little end tick, meaning that you don't have to repair something larger later on. Next question from Harry. When are we able to buy performance parts? At the moment, the demand in the UK is just something that we can't cope with, and our own workshop is absolutely chocker with upgrading cars that are driven into our workshop. Hopefully in the near future we'll be in the position to dispatch kit, but really that must be fly and fit or installed by someone we know and trust, because a lot of times in the past when we've shipped kit out, it hasn't been fitted properly, and that sort of then gets confused with there being a problem with the kit, and I just don't want any bad reputation like that. So unless we can install it and sign it off, I'm not really that keen on shipping kit outside of our workshop to be fitted. Next question was from our worn out key video on Sport Shift, where it will just keep doing a clutch learn if that key was jammed in. The only solution is to buy an outer shell and put the innards into that new shell. Next question asks about if the removal of the primary cap would invalidate the Aston warranty. Yeah, I think it would, although quite recently I've been surprised about the number of cars that have been sold, supposedly gone through a timeless check, but I've actually got a primary cap delete and high flow secondaries and a remapped ECU. So I think it would invalidate the warranty just because it's changed from standard. But if you was to think pragmatically, then you'd wonder why they would do that, because as a warranty company, as a warranty policy, they're better off that that primary cat isn't present, because if it is, then it just makes an engine at risk of needing rebuild if something went wrong. So they should actually be happier that the primary cat isn't there as opposed to it being present. I mean, there's no more stress on any of the engine internals because it's not there. It's not going to promote, develop anything closer to failing. So there really is no downsides of a primary decap. Next question asks if I think the headlamp ventilation kits are worth it. Check out a question of the week where I feature the top best and the top not so good products to buy for your Aston, and you'll see where I think the headlamp ventilation kit fits into that. Next question is it within the realm of possibility to swap the 7-speed Sport Shift found in the V12 VS either for a 7-speed dogleg manual or a 6-speed box? I mean, anything is possible given time and money, and it is definitely possible to convert to a 6-speed manual. The 7-speed ASM gearbox would need so much internal rework that you might as well find a 7-speed manual to start with. But once you've got a gearbox and you've bolted it in place, then pedal box, trim, reprogramming of the modules, that's all possible to get that car driving as a manual. You just have to work out how cost feasible the whole activity is. Next question asks, I've got a 2010 4.7 manual Roadster and lost both displays in the dashboard, and it could be due to a roof module malfunctioning, but the roof is working normally and so are all windows. Easiest way to check if a malfunctioning roof module is causing the dash to go haywire is just disconnect the roof module from the harness. If the dashboard springs back to life immediately, then hey presto, you know that you've got a faulty roof module. Replace the roof module and that problem should go away and your dash functions as normal. If you disconnect the roof module and the dashboard remains inoperative, then connect AMDS and go to reflash the driver information module. And if that reflash doesn't bring it back to life, then unfortunately it'll have to be a new dashboard module.
Hope you enjoyed that comments section roundup, and we'll see you on the next forum chat. Really helps us if you can click a like, subscribe to our channel and comment on anything you see in our social media.